Uganda is a landlocked country with a population of about 35 million. More than half of this population is young, with youth aged between 12 to 30 years, constituting about 78% of the population. Although youth constitute the largest proportion, it is worth noting that majority of them wake up each morning to a myriad of challenges and concerns. Lack of jobs is a shared concern for both educated and uneducated. To Hassan Ochen, a resident of Katakwi Town Council, hopes for chasing his dreams have faded after failing to get a permanent job.
You get a job here for something like 1 week, next time again you don't have. So you go and use that money for some of those problems like buying soap or giving people to help you to cultivate.
He tried out farming to take a chance of government's agriculture support programs, but he was let down by the unfavorable policies.
A good example, we had some NADS group in our place there. So instead of giving us money to buy groundnuts, they bought groundnuts very late during dry season. So when you try to put that one, you try to cultivate, automatically sun will come and destroy it, of which you will not benefit. Then like at times they say they want to give you goats to rear. Instead again they buy for you goats as if you people you don't know how to buy goats. They buy you the small ones. You see, why not to bring money to the group of people that this is the money you buy? At least I myself I can buy the quality of a goat of which I know that I'm the one keeping. Instead of buying you the small one, that one goes and dies.
Hassan Lopelok, a businessman in Kotido Market, has a different story to tell. He is at the verge of failing to pay for a loan he acquired to boost his business because of the ruthless government policy.
Another challenge we are getting is these soldiers of our government here and policemen, they don't want our brothers to wear this. Maybe they are saying there are guns inside, then they have stopped. Sometimes they find people again. Even now, if you take even like 20 minutes from here, you will see even people when they are captured even now. You will just take some good hours from here, just around the market here. You find they are just picking off those sheets, sometimes caning them. They don't give them again back those sheets.
According to the report titled Lost Opportunity, Gaps in Youth Policy and Programming in Uganda, published by the Development Research and Training, ActionAid and Uganda National NGO Forum, about 12% of the youth are chronically poor. Majority of the youth, both educated and non-educated, are not in any form of employment and they can't start their own business due to lack of capital.
I think the issue of youth unemployment is something that's very urgent and that needs to be tackled sooner than later. The reasons are not very hard to figure out. First of all, when you see some of the new behavioral changes that are emerging among our youth, issues like sports betting, issues of increased crime, these just don't happen like that. These are symptoms of a larger problem. We have a very big youth population that has nothing to do. And what do you think they are going to do to earn a living? They resort to some of the work that they do which might not be legal, and that's why we have a big sociological problem in this country.
Some youth blame the dilemma to mistrust between them and the public, while others curse the country's education system.
The administrators or the district leaders seriously don't give us the response, and they really don't give us the chance to work. We as the youth leaders should be involved in the policy formulations, implementations, monitoring and evaluations. We are not being consulted.
The education system in Uganda is not the best, it's not favorable at all. Because you see someone will study right from nursery, go up to the university, the person is on field. There's no practical things there, as per what he's like trying to specialize in. And then at the end, after like studies, you have your degree, you've graduated, you're looking for a job, you have no experience, you have no skills, as the report also brought out. So you'll just begin like loitering on the street. At the end of the day, you'll find yourself coming home to do nothing, just as you've not gone to school.
Here in Uganda, we have the worst teaching system whereby people do teach subjects, so far like 10 subjects to a kid, yet in future, someone is going to be a doctor, you teach more subjects which even are irrelevant.
We have educated people, but the type of education they have gone through is not able to give them self-employment. They have educated themselves with these theoretical subjects, which are basically aimed at looking for white-collar jobs. There is nothing practical in them. So, if you have such a population which is getting and increasing every year because of the number of education institutions we have now, how shall we afford? Are we not having a big problem in this country? It's like you're just planting a bomb for yourself.
Statistics from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development show that youth unemployment currently stands at 83%. Around 400,000 youth are annually released into the job market to compete for the mere 9,000 jobs available.
When they get out, they learn experience. When they go to the job fields, they ask them for the experiences where they can't get them from anywhere apart from work. And then before work, they are asking them for experience.
Sadly, majority of the youth cannot access most of Prosperity for All programs, including the Youth Entrepreneurship Venture Fund Initiative, due to limited scope, stringent requirements, political patronage, among other inhibitors.
When they want to access any help from like any government program, you find the conditions are very, very tough. They cannot afford, okay? That's one thing. Whether in NADS, whether in any other way, like the youth fund, you've seen, most of our youths did not get any assistance. I mean, did not access the money. Just because of the conditions which were set, and the conditions are too tough, they cannot fulfill them all. Now you find them just there remaining and maybe doing things on their own, which is not really enough. Okay? It cannot help them so much, and you cannot see them progressing since they are not being supported.
They would ask for land title. They will ask for, maybe if you're having a vehicle, you should be able to have the logbook. But you know, as the youth, we have the ideas, but we don't have those resources. Where do you, as a youth, maybe who has just come out of school, get the land title or get other collaterals? The conditions for accessing the fund is very stringent, and it has limited very many youth to access it.
The portrait for youth seems to be complicated. Some people say that youth have several opportunities, but they have failed to utilize them. Others accuse Ugandan youth of laziness, a factor they say turns them away from working to earn a living into crime, drug abuse, and lawless activities.
Sometimes the youth are spoiling the opportunities that are given to them. Our youth here in Paida, both under NUSAF and then the presidential gift, they had an opportunity. NUSAF allocated a lot of funds for the youth, but most of the projects that were allocated under NUSAF are not seen anywhere now today. Where did those projects go? Who are managing them? Were there people who are not youth managing those projects on behalf of the youth? I would say the answer is no. The youth themselves were put to manage those projects, and they identified those projects by themselves. Unfortunately, they have decided to misappropriate those projects. They are no longer there. Now, under the presidential gift, the President of the Republic of Uganda gave a tractor
with the aim that this tractor will be used to boost the youth capital so that they can venture into some other income generating activities. This tractor was hired out to some farms in Noya district. But let me tell you, the return is really very sad.
For the projects which are there, which are given to youth, you find you are given the project, but there's no guideline on it. They sit at the district, they budget for it, they just come and give you, the youth, do this and that. So for you, you are just implementing. At the planning time, the budgeting, you are not involved. But now they give it to you to implement. You are not yet ready. Let's assume, let's take for example, when enterprises, Uganda National Enterprise Corporation gave tractor to Paida, a border association. These boys were taken by surprise that you have a tractor. Now, it is good that the government is going in for mechanization of agriculture and the rest. But we're giving it to a boy who is used to riding a border. You didn't ask him. So for him to receive this as tractor, now managing the tractor is failing them.
The government tries to give us fund, and whereas they give us that fund, it needs some knowledge to use it effectively. And to use that money effectively, of course you have some knowledge about money. And when you are not educated and they give you money, just spend aimlessly, you don't do anything developmental.
But the government is trying its best within its resources. The little resources that are expected to serve every Ugandan, including these youth. But you realize that the youth seem to be thinking there must be a special program for them. Now, if everybody in this country is going to ask for a special program, the resources to handle all those, it's really a challenge.
Zig Ziglar has another quotation where he says that if you don't know where you want to go, every road will lead you there. We need to help the young people define themselves. But also, we have different images and paintings of the young people. Young people are painted differently by different people depending on what they want to do or achieve out of them. Some people paint them as lunatics. Others call them inexperienced people. Others say these are good for nothing fellas. There are so many definitions. And we need to sit with the young people and deconstruct the way young people are presented. So that at the end of the day, and I was very happy, Director there at ActionAid, I was happy to see that you brought in the young people. Because with us as government, we believe in the what we call the asset-based approach to youth programming. Must provide space for young people to participate in shaping this country.
Change the phrase of going to school and getting a job and start saying, go to school and improve your career options.
Is that we need to have models of encouraging work-based training and certification of youth experiences in relation to some of the existing qualifications, and we think that will go a long way. When the presentation was made on the youth in school, you still see that despite the fact that we have the universal primary education, more young people are not in school. They are dropping out, they are not completing.
We need to undergo what now we call scaling the youth. How do we career guidance? How do we identify youth that are particularly interested in a particular skill? Train them. Without the skills, our youth will not go very far.
The youth should not wait until they are given opportunity or silver platter. They need to fight for their rights. They need to claim for their rights, so long as they're part and parcel of this country, part of the citizenry of this country.
We have noted that the issues or the challenges that the young people experience in the country come from them, from the families where they are, from the community, but also the environment that surrounds them. It's about changing the mindset of the young person, the family where they come from, to see that they have something to do for the young people to change their situation. It's not always true that someone has to do something for them. They really have the power and the resource to do something for themselves.
So government should make sure that they operationalize some of the very seemingly good policies that they have. Let them put them in action.
It's important that the education policy is looked at very comprehensively. If, for instance, this is my loud thinking, if somebody is, for instance, finishing university education, is there a way we can engage this person, maybe before we can recognize that university paper he has, to some practical vocational training?
I would like to challenge the youth to come forward, not to speak from their villages or whatever. They must continue knocking on the district headquarters to say, these are our ideas. They must become more proactive than what has been so far.